welcome to South Asia Today, a show that provides you the glimpses of South Asia. I'm your host, Shivangi Mishra. Let's begin with the headlines first. Nepali artists repaint 8 centuries-old Buddhist manuscripts with gold. Renovation in Kashmir's historical Ghantaghar in full swing ahead of India's 77th Independence Day. And poor infrastructure fuels massive protests in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Let's begin the show with Nepal, where artists are renovating an ancient Buddhist manuscript with gold ink at the Golden Temple in Nepal's Patan Darbar Square. The manuscript is recited daily and artists work every day for about a month to repaint the manuscript. The ink is made using fine gold dust and boiled flaxseed. The text contains 8,000 verses delivered by Gautam Buddha to his disciples. Have a look. A group of painters are restoring a Buddhist book that is 8 centuries old with gold in the courtyards of the Golden Temple in Nepal's historic Patan Darbar Square. The 800 years old Pragya Paramita Buddhist scripture is being renovated by artists by reinstating the faded words and rewriting those damaged over the course of time. All these scripts in this holy manuscript are in the Ranjana script and are written with gold. Believed to have been first inscribed during Abhaya Mala's regime before the unification of modern Nepal, the scripture is believed to have been prepared by Anand Bichu. Kept in the Golden Temple at other times and recited on a daily basis, the Purushottam Mass gives a break to daily recitation when the artists gather together to renovate the ancient manuscript.
अहिले यो भइरहेको चाहिँ जुन यो प्रज्ञा पारमिता जुन सुनले गोल्डन अक्षर सुनले लेखिएको छ यो प्रज्ञा पारमिता सूत्रलाई चाहिँ अहिले हामीले चाहिँ यो दिनदिनै पढ्ने यसलाई खोल्ने बन्द गर्ने यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ यो जुन सुनले लेखिएको छ यो सुन चाहिँ जाने मेटिने यसको जुन पत्रहरू च्यातिने त्यस भएकोलाई चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ यसलाई पुनः जीर्णोद्धारको कार्य चाहिँ अहिले भइरहेको छ.
The word pragya means intellect and paramita means wholeness, thus making the meaning intellectual wholeness. It is followed and read in those countries which follow Mahayana Buddhism, which aims to secure enlightenment. In this golden word manuscript, the 8,000 verses delivered by Gautam Buddha to 1,350 disciples are recorded. It is believed that Buddha delivered those verses some 2,500 years before.
अब पहिलादेखि गर्दै आएको भएर चाहिँ हामीले यही मनमास पुरुषोत्तम मास 1 महिना चाहिँ हामीले यो गर्दै आइरहेको छु. यो चाहिँ पहिलादेखिकै परम्परा भनौँ कि अब त्यही बेला अब मनमासमा अब केही पाठ पूजाहरू गर्न नहुने भन्ने एउटा जुन जनविश्वास छ त्यसलाई नै आधार बनाएर चाहिँ अहिलेसम्म चाहिँ हामीले यो पटक गरेर हामीले 10 चोटि गरिसक्यो. हामीले चाहिँ यो भन्दा पहिला पनि जुन हाम्रो बुवाहरूले अब हाम्रो बाजेहरूले गर्नुहुन्थ्यो त्यही अनुसार चाहिँ यही मलमास नै महिना पारेर चाहिँ गर्ने हुनाले चाहिँ त्यसलाई नै हामीले फलो गरेर चाहिँ अहिलेसम्म पनि हामीले यही मलमासमा मात्रै यो जीर्णोद्धारको कार्य चाहिँ अहिले पनि त्यही परम्परा चाहिँ त्यही नै हो. हामीले त्यसले त्यही परम्परा अनुसार चाहिँ हामीले यो मलमास 1 महिना चाहिँ यसलाई जीर्णोद्धार कार्य चाहिँ गर्दै आइरहेको छु.
The month which does not have Surya Sankranti is called Malamas, which means there is no solstice of the sun between one Aunsi Amavasya to another Amavasya. Sankranti means the entry of the sun from one zodiac to another. Purushottam Mas comes with a difference of 32 months, 16 days and 6 hours. This Buddhist manuscript, in case of tearing or permanent damage beyond repair, is rewritten on a special lokta, commonly known as Nepali Kagaj and locally known as Neelpatra, which is made from the fibers of a plant called Dafe peperetsia. only found in Nepal. Moving on. Ahead of India's Independence Day celebrations, the restoration work of the clock tower, popularly known as Ghanta Ghar, in Srinagar district of Jammu and Kashmir, is in full swing. The renovation work was launched after a partial dismantling of the iconic tower a few months ago and now has reached near completion, receiving applause from the local community. Have a look.
In line with the Government of India's Smart City project to provide a fresh comprehensive makeover to cities across the country, the historical landmark of Ghanta Ghar in Srinagar is undergoing renovation. Originally constructed as an advertisement by Bajaj Electricals, the Ghanta Ghar was later built in 1979 following the request of Sheikh Mohammad Abdullah, the then Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. It replaced the Red Square, which was developed previously by Christians. The ongoing revamp initiated by the government is in full swing, and the renovation work is expected to be completed before Independence Day.
15 अगस्त से पहले यहाँ पे होगा और आप पोलो व्यू जैसा है न्यूयॉर्क इसको ऐसा भूल जाओगे, आप इतना बढ़िया ही बन के आएगा अभी.
The construction work at Lal Chowk and several other areas is in progress, with the bulldozers and hammer-wielding labourers are diligently renovating the roads and footpaths using high-quality bricks and materials. These efforts can be seen as part of the government's welfare project aimed at regenerating Kashmir's cultural heritage and providing ample opportunities to locals.
These are 3 projects यहाँ पे. एक है घंटा घर, फिर ये पूरा लाल चौक का जो एरिया है, तीसरा रेजिडेंसी रोड जो बराबर हमारे TRC तक का है. सो तीनों प्रोजेक्ट्स आर ऑलमोस्ट टिल कंप्लीशन. अगले 10-15-20 days में they'll all be complete 100%. घंटा घर इज़ 100% complete. घंटा घर में एक्चुअली इल्यूमिनेशन वगैरह करना था, वो सब हो गया. उसकी टेस्टिंग करनी थी, इस वजह से बाहर का जो इसका जो ये सपोर्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर लगाया जाता है लोगों के चढ़ने के लिए, दैट इज़ वाई इंटेक्ट. अदरवाइज इसका पूरा काम कंप्लीट है. बेस में हम लोग इसमें बैठने की जगह बनाना चाह रहे हैं इसके अराउंड. उसमें द्यूरी लगाएंगे, तो वो जो ही हम ये बाहर का रिमूव करेंगे दैट विल डू इट. रेस्ट इट इज़ ऑल कंप्लीट.
Following the amendment of Article 370, India's Union Territory, Jammu and Kashmir, is experiencing significant development. The revival of Ghanta Ghar in the heart of Srinagar is just one of the many projects carried out by the government to reshape and revitalize the Union Territory into a new Kashmir. And this is just the beginning. There are many more ambitious initiatives yet to come.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
Hundreds of indigenous people arrived in Buenos Aires to protest lithium mining in their territories. A caravan of members of different Argentine native people departed from the northern Jujuy province on July 25th, bound for the capital city. Protesters kitted out with Viphala flags, banners and Indian music instruments marched along streets defending their rights over their territories and the resources within them. The protest stressed the native people's opposition to lithium exploitation as it can potentially cause irreversible damage to the environment. The march also denounced modifications in the northwestern Jujuy province constitution that condemn the right to protest. As Japan enjoys a post-pandemic resurgence in tourism from around the globe, Seibu Railway is using automated translation to help visitors navigate one of Tokyo's most baffling transportation hubs. The device allows customers and a station attendant to converse, while the semi-transparent display spells out the words in Japanese and one of 11 other languages including English, French, Mandarin and Spanish. The railway installed the translation window this month at Seibu Shinjuku Station, the terminus of one of its central Tokyo lines that serves around 135,000 passengers a day, for a 3-month trial before considering a wider rollout. The device was also tested out at Osaka's Kansai International Airport earlier this year. Seibu Railway says the translation device is intended to help customers with more complex requests like directions or information about the local area. Traditional ticket machines and main ticket windows are still available. More than 2 million visitors arrived in Japan last month, the most since the pandemic outbreak in 2019. And travelers from the United States and Europe exceeded pre-outbreak levels as the weak yen makes the trip the cheapest in decades. Volkswagen Group, Germany's leading car maker, said this week that it aims to strengthen cooperation with local Chinese partners to take advantage of the booming electric vehicle market. The company is acquiring a 4.99% stake in the Chinese electric vehicle startup XPeng by the way of a capital increase worth around $700 million. Simultaneously, the group's Audi brand has signed a strategic memorandum with its Chinese joint venture partner SAIC to further expand their existing cooperation. The aim is to swiftly tap into new customer and market segments, thereby systematically leveraging the potential of China's dynamically growing e-mobility market, said the group in a press release. The deepening of the partnership in China is in line with the group's In China for China strategy, it added. According to a technological framework agreement with XPeng, 2 Volkswagen-branded electric models for the mid-size segment will be rolled out in 2026 in China. Audi, on the other hand, will also expedite its efforts to extend the portfolio of fully connected electric vehicles on offer in the premium segment swiftly and efficiently.
Moving on to Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, where massive protests were reported in the Palandri area. The people in this area have been suffering due to poor infrastructure, especially the roads. They have now decided to expose the Pakistan government's discriminatory policies for giving no attention to the demands of the people in POK. Here's a report.
A large number of people took to the streets of Palandri region in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir against poor infrastructure, high inflation and rampant corruption in the occupied territory. They shouted anti-government slogans and called out administration's lackadaisical and corrupt attitude. In response, the local authorities enforced Section 144 to disperse the protesters, but the demonstrators persisted and vowed to sustain their protests until their issues were addressed and demands were met.
One word can describe the situation of the infrastructure in Pakistani occupied Jammu Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan as well, and that one word is appalling. The situation, the condition of infrastructure in both these occupied territories is appalling. The roads are broken, the bridges are gone so weak that at times only one vehicle can pass those bridges. Most of the bridges have collapsed. The bridges from pre-partition era have collapsed. And on top of that, when contractors build a road, after one rain or in 2 months, that road becomes full of potholes again. Talking about infrastructure, the health infrastructure has collapsed totally. There are no rural health centers in villages to cater for the sick in far-flung mountainous regions. There are no schools and colleges available for children where they can get free education. The university education level is absolutely a joke.
The people in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir have time and again accused Islamabad of turning a blind eye to the hardships faced in POK region. Limited availability of resources for the locals and inadequate infrastructure have only worsened the situation. In an attempt to put an end to the power outages in the Skardu region, a large number of residents participated in a demonstration, carrying banners urging the authorities to recommence work on the 3 power projects. The people residing in both Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan are experiencing severe food shortages, and businesses are facing financial ruin due to the lack of access to power and electricity. As a result, thousands of individuals have lost their jobs as businesses and small industrial workshops have been compelled to close down due to the prevailing circumstances.
5 days ago, a vehicle falls into a deep ravine in Gilgit-Baltistan. 6 people die on the spot. The rest are taken to the hospital for serious injuries. Nothing happens. The following day, another vehicle falls down the ravine, and ironically, 6 people die in the second accident as well. So within 24 hours, 12 people have lost their lives, but nobody cares. Why? There are no safety walls around mountainous roads. There are no road signs. There are no structures on the road that can help to reduce the speed of a vehicle. So the situation in Pakistani occupied Jammu Kashmir is appalling, and people are protesting.
The residents of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan have repeatedly hit the streets to protest and demonstrate, seeking fair treatment and adequate attention to address the poor state of infrastructure and government negligence in the region. Unfortunately, their pleas have fallen on deaf ears, as the authorities have shown little concern for their plight and have remained indifferent to their situation.
Indian fashion industry is rapidly expanding in the global market. Indian contemporary and traditional fashion designers are getting popular due to the creative work done by noted fashion designers. Today, we take you to India Couture Week 2023, where well-known Indian fashion designers showcase their work.
Fashion reflects the rich tradition, culture and vibrant part of any society. And the credit goes to the designers for preserving that fashion art through their creativity. The India Couture Week 2023, organized by the Fashion Design Council of India, featured prominent Indian designers showcasing their stunning collections. The well-known Indian fashion designers presented their most recent collections during the event.
We've had a great time doing it, and there's something wonderful about Indian textiles. They lend themselves to almost anything. So we've enjoyed doing the show. We've enjoyed being able to put up on a ramp a collection that would have otherwise, during the COVID, sat in godowns.
Fashion is nothing more than an ongoing evolutionary process that gives everyone in the community a broad platform to express themselves. The India Couture Week is one such event where designers outcast is styling attires and presents them to the public. With the help of Bollywood's most prominent fashion icons, India Couture Week 2023 set the fashion forecast for the festive season ahead. Fashion enthusiasts eagerly anticipated what each designer had in store. Celebrities from the tinsel town, including Sara Ali Khan, Ishan Khattar, Ananya Pandey, Kiara Advani, Shobhita Dulipala, Disha Patani and many others were dressed as the showstoppers at the ongoing fashion gala.
There's a lot of handcraft, there's a lot of marriage of old world in contemporary settings. There's a lot of different techniques that we've used. There's a lot of art that we've amalgamated into the collection as well.
Indian fashion designers and brands are showcasing their latest collections in a completely new and immersive environment. It helps them to reach a wider audience that is beyond geographical boundaries. The Indian fashion industry has a bright future and it is now touching new heights with the rise in demand for Indian fashion brands in the West and the Middle East. Events like India Khato Week is a great opportunity for Indian brands to grow and diversify.
It's time for me to wrap up today's episode. We'll be back next week at the same time. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on the behalf of the entire production team of South Asia Today. Goodbye and take care.